Hey y'all, it's Megan. Welcome back. Glad you're here. Glad you joined me today. Today we're going to be doing just a quick little garden update, homestead update, you might want to call it. If you hadn't seen my tour around the homestead, check that out. So just going to show you how everything's doing. Also, anytime with gardening, you always live and learn. Even though me and my husband, especially my husband's been doing this our whole lives, you know, there is some things to still learn along the way. So I'm going to share that with you too. So maybe you won't make the same mistake that we did. All right, my tomatoes are looking excellent. I've been doing a little experiment. I've been putting milk, my extra milk, on some of these. That gives them calcium, as well as makes an excellent fertilizer. Now this is my raw cow's milk that I've been putting out here, like if I have any extra. And you can tell, I mean, these plants look a little darker and a little bigger than the rest of those down through there. So I think that's something good, and calcium's good to prevent blossom end rot. These right here are ox heart tomatoes. This is our first year trying those, so if you've ever tried ox heart tomatoes, let me know. But my tomatoes look good. If you're wondering why I have a stake in between every one of them, we're going to be doing the Florida weave to stake these up this year. We're going to try that. The tomato cages, we never have good luck with them. After the tomato plants get so big, they just fall over anyway, even with the tomato cages. So we're going to try that Florida weave this year. I need to hoe. That's what I'm out here for today. I got to hoe the garden. And now see, I got a couple pitiful ones right here, but this is the shadiest part of the garden. And these, I don't know if they'll make anything or not. We'll just wait and see. But I've got these big cypress trees, I think is what they're called, Leyland cypress trees, and they kind of shade this little end of the garden here. My corn's coming up. It's a little hibbity-hobbity, but it's working on it. We've replanted a little bit of it, but it's coming. All this right here, sweet corn, honey select. If you've never tried honey select, I highly suggest it. These right here, we call them October beans. They're called something else. I don't remember what it is now, but that's what that is. This is fingerling potatoes. We just planted a few of those along there. So I wanted to show y'all this because this wasn't in my last update, but this is some more cattle panels. Put T-posts in the ground. These are all our cucumbers down through here. So our plan is the cucumbers to grow up and climb, because cucumbers will climb instead of spreading out. So of course you get more room in your garden if you grow vertically. So we're gonna try to increase our space as much as possible by letting these cucumbers grow up. This right here is actually an old dog fence. My husband's a landscaper, pulled this out of a job, and we just repurposed that. So let's see, this row right here is nothing. We're gonna pull this row out. I've got a couple of okra plants in there that I'm gonna transplant, but it's just, this is something we learned. Where we put this fence in, it's just too close together, so we're gonna just do away with that row. My broccoli's looking good. My onions are looking great. They're not trying to seed out yet, so that's good. I'm gonna let them keep growing a little bit longer. And I've got dill everywhere. That's what this is. And these are English peas, like your sugar snap peas. We're gonna let them grow up our fence here, across there. So they're on the back side there. The only thing is, they're a little hard to get to. That's our first year doing that, and they're a little hard to get to without stepping on anything. And lettuce, leaf lettuce looks excellent, and my kale looks good. This right here is all weeds. I think I'm gonna work on that here in just a little bit. And this is sunflower. It came up by itself, so I hope it's one of the big ones. Grapevine, cabbage plants. And these here, these are eggplants. Never planted eggplant before, so it was kind of an experiment. Don't know much about it. Looks like the bugs are tearing them slap up. See there? So we're not gonna pull them up though, because if the bugs are eating on those, hopefully they're not going to eat on the rest of my stuff. I don't care if the eggplant grows or not. I've never even eaten eggplant. So that was just kind of an experiment. So like I said, hopefully if the bugs are eating the eggplant, they ain't gonna eat nothing else. So that's kind of my sacrifice plants. And I got a couple of squash plants coming up here. Like I said in the previous video, this is just our personal garden. I actually have 3 more spots that we've got stuff planted and not quite done with. So I'm gonna get to hoeing. Folks, if you hadn't got started growing your own food, I suggest you get started. That's the only way to learn. I have people say, well, I can't grow nothing. I can't grow nothing. I don't have a green thumb. You live and you learn, guys. Are you gonna fail? You might. But guess what happens with failure? Lessons. You get lessons when you fail. You learn a little something every day. Like I said at the beginning, even though we've been doing this for years, still learning. So with everything going in the country, the direction it's going, I suggest you get started. Like I said, you still got time, and the good thing about weather here in North Carolina, we can do a lot of succession planting, which means once one plant's done, you can go behind it and plant another and maybe squeeze 2 harvests in with certain things before the first frost. So get out there and get you either some containers. I don't care if it's a boot. I don't care if it's a dresser drawer. Make sure you got a drain hole and start planting you some food. Start learning how to take control of your life. That's what it's coming to, folks. It may come down to it, the people that don't know how to grow their own food may not eat. If things keep going the way they're going, they say gas is going to hit $10 a gallon by the end of the year. I tell you, I don't even know if I'll be able to afford to drive to my public job or not. And, you know, times may start getting a little hard, and so you better get started. All right, guys, now on to the raised beds. And I'm just going to show y'all some mistakes that we made. We don't usually plant in raised beds. Last year was our first year, and these raised beds are new. So we're learning. You learn all the time. So I'm just going to tell you about what we did and what happened, and kind of show you the plants and how we plan to fix it. First, I'm going to start with this raised bed. This is the raised bed from last year. There is so much food in this little tiny area. I'm gonna back up so you can see the whole thing. I just pulled my garlic, so it's gone. So we're gonna plant something else right there. But y'all, this little tiny space. So if you have a backyard, you could plant so much food with these in this raised bed method. Onions, lettuce, more lettuce, carrots. The carrots just look absolutely beautiful, and I am so excited because we've never really been able to grow carrots. So I am so excited about that. More onions and more dill. My kale is squeezing on up through here. I can't wait to eat some of that. I'm gonna eat some of that maybe tonight. Tomato plants, sweet potato slips. There's some flowers right there and right there. So that's one of my good beds, which that dirt is the same dirt that we put in there last year. Now on to this one. Now y'all see these onions here? And can you see those onions right there? These are 2 different dirts that we used here. The compost dirt that's in this one has been sitting, I don't know, we've used it for 5 years. I mean, it's just some compost that we made. We get some out of it every year, and that was what we also put in this one. This one, y'all see how pitiful these onions are? I mean, they're growing a little bit, but not a ton. So this that we put on here is horse and cow manure that we scraped out of our sacrifice pasture from last year. So it sat a year, and we thought that would be long enough, but I don't think it was. My plants are not doing great in here. We've replanted these beans twice. We've got some coming up, but they still don't look wonderful. These are, you know, string beans, so that's this bed. And then the other bed that we also put that same dirt in is right here. My strawberry plants are not doing good at all. We were reading, let me see if I can find one and show you. So the leaves started looking like this. See how yellow they are and how dark green the veins are? That is not normal. Your plant should not look like that. It is an iron deficiency is what causes that. So, see, I mean, they're not, I don't know if these are gonna make it, guys. But this is that same dirt. So apparently it has not set long enough. It has not composted long enough to be good for planting yet. What we should have did was mix the two together and we probably would have been fine. But now these beans, these type of beans right here, these are a type of whole beans. I think they're the Kentucky Wonders. They seem to like this dirt. They're doing really good and they look good. So, good morning. So lesson learned. That's just the way it goes. You live and you learn. There's always going to be mistakes made, but that's how we learn. So, like I said, this bed right here is out of that 5-year-old compost. And you can tell, I mean, planted at the same time. Onions planted at the same time. And you can just tell how much of a difference the type of compost you use makes. And these sweet potato slips, man, they are like beautiful. So, our plan to fix this is we're going to try to, don't run over me. We're going to try to dig up the plants very carefully. And my compost that I dug out of the chicken house, it's like dirt. I mean, so it has completely composted. We're going to put that on top of this compost that is not doing good. And we're going to try to replant the plants. Like I said a while ago, the good thing about North Carolina, we got plenty of time for succession planting. Beans do fine here in the summertime. So if we have to replant every darn one of them beans, we'll be all right. It just is what it is. The strawberries, on the other hand, we don't have time to replant those, but maybe we can plant some more in the fall. But yeah, I just wanted to share that with y'all. So if you're trying to grow a garden, if it's your first time or you've tried for the last 2 years and things keep happening, it's just part of it, y'all. Don't give up. Just keep on and keeping on. Just learn something from your mistakes. That's the biggest advice I can give you, is always take a lesson from your mistakes and try not to do the same thing twice. So anyways, I appreciate you watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. Check out my homestead tour if you hadn't already. And I'll talk to y'all next time.